Yo.
Station.
I didn't want to risk dealing with the pulling in and out this time with it being on right now.
Always a risky move.
I just started. What's up?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to
Yo, what up?
What up?
What up, dude? I'm telling you, bro, I'm already annoyed as hell with that shit, bro.
I think Dylan's talking about his internet connection right now, just in case anybody is curious. But, you know.
So what are we doing?
So, we're here, View 2022 Pearl. See, bro, that's why I can't bring y'all in at the same time. Y'all do me like this.
I think Dylan's on a little bit of a delay.
Up. Y'all like fucking with me at this point. See, like I don't even
think you're on a delay,
like, bro. It's cutting in and out.
Damn.
What's up, everybody? We're here to talk tonight about
like,
Pearl from Ty West. You got it, bro. We got you. All right, everybody. Welcome to Dylan's Horror Show tonight. I, of course, am rocking Robbie Billups, and tonight we're going to be talking about Pearl, the prequel to Ty West's X, which we talked about last year. Both of these movies came out last year. That's right, a prequel and the movie in which the prequel was made to be a prequel for. What do you call the first movie? Anyway, tonight we're talking about Pearl, the prequel to X by Ty West, also co-written by Mia Goth, starring Mia Goth. And before we get any of this going, let's just go ahead and admit Mia Goth got robbed by the Academy Awards for this film. 100%. With tonight joining us is the usual ragtag of misfits, conundrums, and misfits. Did I really say misfits? Anyway, it's Fable. What is up, my man? How you doing?
Station. Chilling, brother. Chilling. Happy to be here.
Hell yeah. Happy to have you here. What's up, Steph? Missing link.
Hello.
That's right. And we got Verno down there in the red room. What is up, my man? How's it?
I know. A little extra red down here tonight. and moved some things around. It turned out it made things more red.
It makes more red. I like that. And red is a big part of this movie. You can tell from the get-go, because this movie, I wasn't prepared to have all the information, so I'm just going to go off the dome. So this movie is directed by Ty West, of course. They did this directly after producing X. It was during the pandemic, right? During the in New Zealand, Mia Goth and Ty West were in a 2-week shutdown, right? And so they would video call, and they were developing the backstory for Pearl, who is basically the antagonist of the film X. So spoilers for X. This is about the killer in X, and how she becomes this way. And in X, she's a very old woman, still sexually active, though, which is interesting. So it plays up on that too. But it's a prequel, and it was filmed right afterwards because they already had these sets made. And when they were developing this backstory for Pearl, Mia Goth and Ty West were like developing it so much into its own movie. And they shot this immediately after filming X. Like A24 had the faith in Ty and in this project to go ahead with it, and they did it. They were like, we got the sets built. Y'all have already gone away for like 2 weeks and isolated. We are the safest movie set on the planet Earth right now, right? And so they did both back to back.
Wow.
The movie is, to me, way completely different. X and Pearl are way opposite ends of the same spectrum, which is horror, which is also a psychological thriller. This one gets more into a character study, a character exploration of not just who Pearl is and how she came to be, but the world around her. And it really, when you watch X, the main focus is not Pearl. But when you rewatch X after watching Pearl, you notice the tragedy of this film in particular. And we're going to be talking about that tonight. Fable, this was not your first time watching it, or was it?
First time.
First time watching Pearl, man. What'd you think?
I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed it. It was a good movie about a crazy family, a crazy German family. I really enjoyed the performances in it. I thought Mia Goth was a revelation. I've never really seen a lot of her stuff, or really she was on my radar at all. But after seeing this and seeing her range, she's amazing. But all the actors are really good. I really enjoyed the guy who played the movie projector guy.
He should play Superman. He'd make a good
I was
Superman.
thinking the same thing. I was just about
I sent that in the chat a few weeks ago, but
I
don't even think he has a name in the film, right? He's just like the projectionist.
Projectionist.
Yeah, projectionist,
labeled
yeah.
as.
Yeah.
His name's David Cornsweat.
Okay.
You say
he had a
corn
real
sweat?
good
Cornsweat. It's not
What's
the
the
best
corn
name.
and why does it sweat
Corn
so much?
sweat.
Man?
Yeah, he had
It's
a
gotta
good
be
presence.
British.
Everybody really had a good presence. I thought the mother was good. I thought the father, for being a paraplegic, was amazing.
Bro, there are moments in this movie where that dude is so goddamn terrified, and he can't.
He's the audience.
Like no shit, right?
Right. Even down to the friend that she thought was perfect. I thought she was really great.
The blonde.
And there, yeah.
Her sister-in-law. I didn't pick up on that the first time I watched
Me
it.
neither, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. Which makes that speech at the end she gave her really chilling, right? Because she's talking about her brother.
Yeah.
So she's thinking, like, what? But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. If maybe I had one complaint, it would be that maybe they gave away that she was a psychopath a little too early. But I knew I didn't see X.
Okay.
See, so that's where I'm at. I didn't know that these movies were connected, that this is a prequel or none of that. If I'm seeing this for the first time, in my mind, I'm like, man, if they would have saved it just a little bit, but that'll make sense for people who saw X first. So, but
That's
yeah,
cool. You didn't see it,
you
though. I
seen
like having
X?
that perspective.
Have you seen X at all, Fable?
No.
Oh, bruh. Well, slight
Watch it.
spoilers for X. Pearl's the killer. She's an old woman, still sexually active. And we're sex positive here at Dylan's Horror Show at DHS. Speaking of sex positivity, Steph, my man,
You know it.
Michigan Gigolo. How do you feel about Pearl?
I loved it. I thought it was really unique. It reminded me of like a old 1920s, like a very early film, almost like Wizard of Oz on acid, almost like the musical bits, and just the music I thought was fantastic, to be honest.
Yeah.
I forgot the score composer, Tyler Bates.
Yeah, it's Tyler
Am I
Bates
thinking?
and somebody else, Tim Williams. Tim Williams.
I mean, from the colorization to the composition, everything was like super saturated, and I thought it really enhanced the whole feel of it. Yeah, I thought it was super dope. You know, but like Fable said, the performances throughout the entire movie were great. Like I in particular like the Dead a lot because I thought he was representative of the audience. How we just have to sit there and watch her go crazy, and we can't. You know, he's like us. He can't say anything. He's just trapped watching her. So it's a very interesting horror movie. Should we say elevated horror?
Well, A24 produced it, so I guess we have to say by contract that it's elevated horror, which is a new thing completely, right? They never did elevated horror before. Before all we had was Blood-Sucking Freaks and Burial Ground, right?
Right.
So was this your first time watching it, Link?
No, this is my third time.
Okay.
I
And
watched
you've seen
it.
X, right?
Yes,
I
I've
love
only
how
seen that once
I
though.
use the Wakanda symbol for X every time I talk about
Everyone else is Wolverine first.
it. Right? It was. Cool. What about you, Verno? What did you think about Pearl? And obviously, I know it's not a first time for you.
No, I watched it when it came out. And
Yeah,
I
you were
did.
there on set.
Yeah, I was there in New Zealand with Mia Goth and Ty West. I loved it, man. Yeah, I think the first time I watched it, I spent the first like 20 minutes like adjusting to the tone because you're coming off of X, and that's what it really struck me. Is like Jesus Christ, like this is they're. It's weird. I don't know if you guys agree, like how different they are, but how they still like feel like a cohesive, like they go
same
together,
world.
but they're completely
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
But obviously Mia Goth is incredible in it. There's not many characters, but all of them do a great job. The Technicolor, Steph, you nailed it with the Wizard of Oz. Did you guys think Mia Goth looked like the fucking Wicked Witch of the West while she was riding that bike?
I feel like the bike is
Yeah.
intentional, and I feel like her mother dresses more like her.
Mm.
Right? And they're showing
Yeah.
the idea where she's like, all those dresses are like her mom's old clothes. Those aren't her clothes that she's wearing, right? They're her old clothes, and her that's totally there because the Wizard of Oz element, right? And Steph, you were talking about how it's so visually different from X, and Verno was mentioning that too. That's intentional, right? X mimics like that Tobe Hooper Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Hills Have Eyes, Wes Craven kind of vibe, right? And this one it's Wizard of Oz. They mentioned Mary Poppins as an as an inspiration, right? They're trying to do that, and they're conveying that through the way it's shot, and like not just the way the colors look or the lighting, but the way the composition of the shots is. Like, I'm surprised Ty West, he probably tried to get this in 4x3, you know, the square, but like they were probably like, we can't do that shit today. Nobody's gonna go watch a square movie anymore. By the way, 20 years ago, everybody was screaming that widescreen was gonna be the death of home video. Anyway, Verno, sorry, that was a tangent.
That's good. Yeah, I thought it was fantastic, dude. Obviously, we all mentioned Mia Goth, but like she is so. I watched Infinity Pool last night. I won't spoil anything about that, but it's like she's incredible. Like for her to be, I'm just so grateful that she is staying in this horror genre. She's clearly into it. I've never seen much of like interviews of that, but she could do more than horror. But I'm glad that she seems to be into it because she's fucking perfect for this genre. She's making nothing but bangers. I will say I've rewatched X before I watched this, and I liked it even more than I've ever liked it. It was my third time seeing it, and it's so fucking good. And I will say, as much as I did enjoy Pearl for sure, I think I still like X. No, I definitely still like X. It's like him. It's Ty West. It's almost perfect. He's just like fucking like almost flawless throughout that movie. And with this one, I feel like it's almost the ending that I just feel like by the end of it, I wish it wasn't the final kill is the sister. There's something weird about the structure of this movie because it's a character study. It's not a slasher where you're picking off a bunch of different characters and at the end you kill Pearl. So it's a little, for me, that speech is great, although it does go out a little bit too long. And then she kills the sister, and then it ends, and it's fucking awesome. But it's also like, was that the climax of this film? So that's the only kind of negative thing that I can think of to say about it.
I appreciate everything you said, but the one thing I want to really fucking get pissed off about for a second is that you mentioned that last soliloquy at the end was too long. I strongly disagree.
There's
love it. And
4 of us
I was
here.
wondering what the
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. It's fine and it's doing its thing, and then when it does start to get uncomfortably long,
Mm-hmm.
he holds that goddamn shot. He holds it. It's just her, and apparently all of it, even throughout the cutting, is one take from Mia Goth, right?
I was gonna say had to
She's
be.
just fucking doing it, and I love. You're right though. Structurally, way different. A completely different film than X. X is meticulously perfect as far as how to make a slasher film. It is like boom, 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 boom. It's got tits, it's got dicks, it's got all kinds of shit. You know what I'm saying? And it works. And it's got like some weird twists. It's got some like cringy moments. It's got some badass moments. And Pearl is completely different. And when I first watched this film, I was slightly disappointed because it wasn't X, right? And it makes me wonder, cannot wait to see the internet fucking collapse when Maxine finally comes out, which is going to be the third part of the trilogy, in which Mia Goth is going to be Maxine again in the 80s. And I'm sure that they're going to do a different vibe and style for that. And I love that style here. But Mia Goth sells it. Now, I understand. Structurally, it's kind of weird. Holding on to that shot, that's a bit of a stretch. Is it a weird stretch? Is it a proper stretch? I don't know. We'll determine that by the end of the night. But Mia Goth is a revelation in this fucking movie.
Oh, yeah.
She is amazing. We could all go on and on about her, but I want to know, what's the character outside of Mia Goth that you liked in this film? Fable?
Yeah, I mentioned him before, the projector guy. I thought he had a real big presence, enough that when I saw him, just like Link said, I said, oh, Superman. There we go.
He's very
The
charming.
replacement right there. He's charming. His discovering of Pearl's madness was a great scene.
I got to go put on the matinee.
Look at the time. Matinee's running there.
Yeah. You're not gonna take me to France like you told me, right?
Stop lying.
Stop lying, man. Yeah. Yeah, I thought he was great. I thought he was a good character. And you know, he's just a regular guy at the end of the day, right? He's just he thought she was pretty and everything, and then he found out he got in over his head, and he acted perfectly, you know.
Introduced her first porn.
Bohemian is what he did.
Yeah.
Right?
So yeah, I liked him. I would pick him outside of Mia Goth.
Dylan, basically overall, we all enjoyed this film, and we were getting into our favorite characters outside of Mia Goth. So I'm going to throw it back over to you, man. Thanks for joining us, man.
You talking to me?
Yeah, so Dylan, I'm talking to you, man.
Bro, it keeps dropping out, bro. I'm like, it's like ruining it for me, bro. I like rather just sit here and watch you on my fucking phone. But yeah, man, I love the film. It's like so annoying, bro. I don't understand why it keeps doing this. Like maybe for a couple minutes.
We can hear you though, no glitching. So just go, brother. Just go.
Yeah.
Everybody
so
hashtag Dylan, just go.
I love
And also
the movie.
hashtag projectionist for Superman. I'm sorry, Dylan. I'm interrupting you.
No, I've heard that. My brother's talked about him maybe being a good Superman. Maybe if he beefed up a little bit, but yeah, I love the film. It's definitely not X, you know, it's definitely a whole different vibe, whole different like color palette to the film, you know. It's not the 70s, it's what, like 1925 or some shit. Something like that.
18, yeah. World
War One, yeah.
Yeah, you get more of like a Wizard of Oz type vibes, you know, very colorful and like a bright palette. I think, you know, great score. I think this one is very focused straight on Mia Goth and her character Pearl, instead of X being kind of like more of a group thing. And then kind of like, honestly, Mia Goth is kind of sidelined a bit in X, because you got Brittany Snow, you got Jenna Ortega. She becomes the final girl in X, but at first you're kind of focusing on some other characters. At first I was like, you know, you got her boyfriend and everything too, the guy who plays like the Matthew McConaughey wannabe. But yeah, I think she's fantastic as Maxine, but she just has like an absolute batshit craziness about her when she plays Pearl, you know, and she seems normal at times, but then when she's killing her ducks and chickens and all that shit, man, you just know that this bitch deep down there is something wrong with her. It definitely gives me some like Psycho vibes, like Norman Bates type shit, but you know, almost like this is Norman Bates's mother's origin or some shit.
Even to the point where she's getting rid of the projectionist, like, right? And she puts the car into the lake or whatever.
Yep.
That's straight from Psycho.
Straight up, like that whole shot and everything. But yeah, dude, I have a lot of fun with the film. I've seen it, you know, since day one. I literally think I own 2 fucking copies of it. I think it's a
Because you
great
couldn't
film,
decide
man.
on, by the way, if anybody doesn't know,
couldn't decide
Dylan
on
owns
which
2
slip.
copies. He couldn't decide on which slip. Yeah, exactly. Like what?
Because I got the Walmart exclusive at first, and then when I saw the original, how it has like the X in the background, I was like, just like how the X had, like if you have the X Blu-ray, it has an X in the background, and I was like, you know, when they do Maxine, there's gonna be a big X in the background, so I was like, I want to just have like all 3. So
Triple X. That's
There's a lot of
awesome.
there was a lot of X symbolism in this film too, right? Like she has to get and stand on the X when she gets up to the stage, and they're like, we need somebody with that X factor. And
Right.
I love that.
I like
I'm
how,
curious if anyone had said that in 1918. You know what I mean? Was
That's
that
what I
a
was
phrase
thinking.
back then?
I was
Well,
like,
Charles
I don't
Xavier
know.
was alive, right?
It's like, were they really saying shit like that? But
Now I get it. See, all that stuff I didn't pick up on, but it makes sense now.
I mean, dude, just like the ending credits where she's just sitting there and the credits are going and she's just smiling.
she has a
uncomfortably.
disturbed smile. Yeah.
You know,
That's
If you watch all the way through, like that smile turns into her like completely just breaking the fuck down, right?
Yeah.
It's amazing, dude.
He does a lot of stuff in these 2 movies that are like that. They're just little, like almost like gimmicky things that could be corny, but he's just like hitting them right. Even like the pig, the way that's a different kind of thing, but it's just a recurring motif to show her break down in this movie. Like he's really creative right now.
Yeah, the pig does represent that for sure.
Yeah, I definitely. I've been enjoying some of his work, man. I still have to watch The Innkeepers. I keep trying. I like start it, and then I'm like, I end up having to do something. So, because that's one where his movies you got to sit down and watch.
Let's just be honest, Dylan, man. Let's just be honest. You sit down to watch it, you fall asleep. That's what we do sometimes.
No, not normally. I would say that, but not with this one. I haven't had a chance to really sit down and watch it. Every time I like go to watch it, I'm like, I don't think I'm in the mood for it right now, honestly. Because like House of the Devil, man, that was one when I first watched it. I was like, this is the guy that did X. This is like his big
Yeah,
that's what this was his big movie before X. It's the one everyone talks about.
The first time I watched it, I was like, why is that chick eating pizza that way? It's so weird.
Some people love it. Like, love it.
I was
wouldn't say I
trepidatious about
love
this
it.
one because of that one. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, is it Ty West? Oh, damn. Okay, let's see what's happening.
But,
You're really gonna like X, I think, Fable, because like Mia Goth plays another character in X as well as playing an old version of Pearl, right?
And she gets naked, even better than what you see in this. And she don't get naked in this. Never mind.
Her
Does she?
character of Maxine reflects something in Pearl, and knowing this backstory really, since it's A24, elevates what happens in X, right?
Yeah.
You might have. I'll tell you what, Fable. If you want to watch that,
tonight.
me and you have to do an IG live on Blood Splatter Chatter, and we'll talk about X whenever you want to get around to watching that. Because I want you to watch it.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, you'll like. I mean, you're a Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you'll like it, man. It's like that.
Do you
Literally,
like-
like if you watch it, you'll say, "Why the fuck didn't they give this guy a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie?"
I got a question. Wait, do you like sex?
Of course.
Then you're gonna love X, man.
I have 3 kids. I have 3 kids.
Good response. Good response. So Dylan,
Yeah,
we
no,
were
I
on
mean-
characters outside of Mia Goth, and Fable had said the projectionist. Just so you know where we were.
I got you. Yeah, I would probably say the mother, to be honest, man. The mother has a very big task, and she has to be a huge bitch, you know, and she has to be super unlikable, at least too, because you're in Mia Goth's eyes. You're like looking through her eyes and her vision, and she had to Pearl. Her mom is a total fucking bitch and so mean to her and cruel. Um, Even though like towards the end, then you see Pearl say she's like, she's like, I kind of feel bad because she did have a hard life, and she was like, the mom says, she's like, you think I plan to raise my husband like I'm his mother now and everything. um so she definitely had it tough, where they had that whole farm that was usually raised by men back in those days, and it's two women running a farm at this point during World War I. And there's everyone's wearing masks and everything, which I feel like he maybe did that year purposely to kind of tie in COVID, because they make that the projectionist guys like, yeah, hard to tell people apart when they're all wearing masks, and the masks just seem like the COVID mask that we wore this past
I
couple
also
years.
heard that since they made this movie during the COVID shutdowns, that it made filming certain scenes easier when they had more people on set, like in the movie theaters.
Yeah.
They were like, just put on the
Yeah.
fucking mask. We're gonna. They made. There's so much like Mary Poppins and Wizard of Oz kind of imagery in here. That's like 39 to the 50s, right? So like being in 1918 almost feels like it's a little bit too far back. Almost.
I
Right?
thought that too, but things didn't change as much back then as quickly. You know what I mean? 1920 is more similar to 1950 than now is to 2015 almost.
Yeah, and it takes us back to the original days of cinema, where like you're going to see these silent films, because like that's what this is. Like, and that I don't think that what is it, the Dancing Follies or whatever. I don't think that's a real film, but it's based on a title of a real film, I think.
Well, I was telling my lady too. I was like, it's crazy to see, because you always forget that when he's like showing the porno, or the stag film as he calls it, and she's like, is this legal? He's like, well, doing it is legal. He's like, but not like recording it. And I was like, man, isn't that crazy? Like back then, like those videos were illegal, and you could get arrested for that.
Well, there's still Robbie. What's it like in Alabama? There's
in Alabama, you cannot film pornography in Alabama.
Yeah, the South.
I didn't even know that's a thing still.
And I don't think we can still order it online. I think there's like loopholes through like Amazon and Vinegar Syndrome, because I've definitely ordered porn online. But like there's a lot of weird rules about it. And the thing is, there is a theme throughout these movies about pornography, but it's also about like suppression and expression. These movies, and like X is about expression, and maybe I'm jumping the gun a little bit, but like Pearl's about suppression. Right? Well, and that's why I love the way that they work together.
There's suppression in X too, with the Maxine character and what you learn about her past, and
100%. And then they even show like Pearl's not religious in this film, but she's religious in X.
Oh yeah.
So that's an interesting thing too.
I feel like you could do another. You could do another movie like in between Pearl and X, and get like kind of like the aftermath, and then like the starting, because now Howard's not even in the movie till the very end, so you could get a movie on like, but maybe that.
Okay.
I was just gonna say let's hold off on this, Dylan. Let the next scene be a hit.
I didn't even say nothing about it.
All five of us get to pitch the TV series that takes place with Pearl and Howie. Pearl and Howie. And we'll film it like a sitcom, like WandaVision.
Real quick about the mom and me not seeing X beforehand. And remember, I had said that maybe they showed off that she was crazy a little too early, and it would have probably been a little sicker if she, Part of that, I said that's because the mom is so cruel to her, and she was already doing crazy stuff, so I didn't feel bad for her. Right, like I didn't necessarily get that feeling like, oh, why is the mom so cruel? I already kind of knew, like maybe the mom knows she's a psychopath,
right?
Treating her like this.
Well, I like it because it's the chicken or the egg thing too. Is she so cruel because of what she's seen Pearl do, or does Pearl do those things because of the way that her mom treats her?
Well, I mean, we're really getting into it right now. But like, I think that Pearl has never been shown the love that she wants, and she seeks that out through stardom.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like she has this idea that stardom's going to get her there.
Yep.
Maxine has the same fucking thing
Yeah.
in X, right? And then I think
I just want people to love me.
I think in the exactly, and it's like this idea of, I mean, we're really getting into it now, but I want to save some of it. But like,
Yeah.
I do feel like the idea is there, right? That she lives in this very oppressive world. Like she gets married way too young to somebody that she's not really that into. He goes off to war. She's fantasizing about him, hearing news that he's dead. Why is she doing that? Is it worry? No, it's not worry. It's that she wants to fucking get out of there. She wants to be free. She is Dorothy in Wizard of Oz, where she wants to leave, and then just like Wizard of Oz, but in a very inversion of the theme of Wizard of Oz, where there's no place like home, and it's meant to be a warm, fuzzy thing. This is the inversion of that, where like we're trying to go over the rainbow, it doesn't work, so there's no place like home, and it's a sadder version of it. You get what I'm saying though? Like structurally, like that's what they're doing. Is it's an inversion of the journey of Dorothy, where no place like home means giving up, means giving in, means succumbing, means becoming a monster, right? Like the worst thing you could think of to her is staying there and becoming her mother. She becomes worse than her mother.
Yeah.
That's a great line too, man. When she's like, I just don't want to end up like you. It's like, I don't know about you guys, but I laughed. There was a handful of scenes in this where it's like, I think my fiance is like, why the fuck you keep laughing? But I found a lot of it funny.
Yeah.
It's because we watch too many damn horror films. That's why.
We're desensitized.
Did they say how long the dad was sick for? Because I did get like the sense of, yeah, the mom did peep the ill shit Pearl was doing, but at the same time, I think that was a ramification that because the mom was so cold and bitter towards Pearl, like, you know, she saw, it kind of mirrors what Pearl does, well, spoilers, goes through in X, you know, her being jealous of seeing the youth that she wasted and shit like that, you know, taking care of the dad.
Yeah, because it adds a new dimension to her character in X, because now as the decades progress, like the people that are 20 years younger than us live a way more like kind of almost, it's hard to say they live an easier life. I'm not saying that, but they live in a world that there's a lot more like
accessible.
Yeah, there's a lot more language to express certain things. There's a lot more like acceptance on certain things, and and I don't know, and like sometimes you can feel like Pearl belonged in the 70s, you know, and she didn't have that opportunity, and it's a message for old people, man. You know, like just because you weren't old enough, don't hate because you ain't us.
You anus? Nice. I can't do it anymore. I already messed up anyway. I have to listen like once or twice. I couldn't do it. Oh, that was a good one though. It was a while since we got it.
We haven't done that in a while, have we?
Well, you know why we haven't done it?
First
Because I don't
time
think
this year.
Scarpad gets it. The one time we tried to do it, Scarpad's like, so anyway,
he's like clicking shit. He's like clicking shit.
Like, my chance to talk now.
Oh shit.
Steph, do you got a character outside of Mia Goth?
Let's go.
I did like the projectionist, and I did think the mom was particularly doing well, but I will say the dad. I think anybody can just sit in a chair and pretend to be mute or incapacitated, but you felt the emotion in his eyes in the scenes when it was necessary, like especially towards the end when after she's taking out the mom and everything, and it's I think she like comes back the next day or whatever, and she's like, no, she's cleaning him after the the events of that previous night, and he's just like looking at her with this fear in his eye. He like gets that one solemn tear that falls down. So I would say the dad for not having any dialogue and not doing much beyond that. Yeah.
He even played dead good. Like he looked dead.
Yeah,
They should have gave him a little bell.
Yeah, right.
I
love
like
how I love how
Breaking
the whole
Bad.
movie, he's just like, and then when like Pearl starts acting really fucked up, he's just like, he's just like trying so hard to get the fuck out of there, man. That dude's giving it his all 24/7, trying to get the fuck up out of there.
And he does the little wheezing, and he's like, she's choking the shit out of him. That shit was crazy.
Bro, what the fuck?
Those were tough scenes, man. Even when she just reached out and pinched his hand like that.
There's not shit he could do about it or tell anyone. Like he's trapped. Like so he knew the truth.
That's why they're showing the shit with her killing the animals and shit. And they mentioned like that's what the mom is mentioning when she goes, "I know what you do." It's
like the animals keep
she's killing. They're like all of our animals are dying. Like she's just killing these.
It was her. It was her.
Yeah. And the mom doesn't even really lose her shit until she realizes you almost just fucking fed my husband, your dad, to this fucking alligator.
Alligator. I was just gonna say that scene where she rolled him up to the plank or whatever. His acting in that was crazy. Like
now that I think of the alligator, what was going on. Now that I think of the alligator, certain scenes in X are gonna have less suspense for you now. We're not supposed to know about that yet.
See, but that's what I was saying the other day. I was like, it kind of be cool to see what viewing experience you get seeing Pearl to X.
Totally.
Yeah, that would be weird. Yeah,
they really work well as like X still works really well as the sequel to Pearl. Even though
they're both
Pearl,
great companion pieces.
Yeah, you could. The one makes you want to watch the other. You could just. I hope Maxine don't fuck it up. You know what I mean? Because I think they're on the verge of making something extremely rare and special in horror to have a trilogy that could be.
The titling will be interesting because Pearl just kind of focused on Pearl, then X was like a mesh of both their worlds, and then Maxine was focused solely on Maxine. So Pearl X Maxine, so that'd be kind of interesting to see together.
Fuck yeah, man!
But I think it's awesome because X is 70s and like Robbie said, I was like, Maxine's got to be like, so it's kind of hit.
Yeah, it's the 80s because when you see
decades of horror, 70s and 80s,
right, and then and the not the 18s, but the 30s, right, which is like or the 40s, but like and Maxine is totally the 80s because in the one little clip we get, it's like the teaser trailer that we got. Is just them focusing in on the Hollywood scene, but it's the dun 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 bum 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 bum. That's totally 80s, right? So like I'm it's cocaine, pornography. Like I am ready for Maxine, bro. And putting 3 X's in the word Maxine, you better
clever.
bring it all. I need more than just the silhouette of Kid Cudi's dick. I need the whole goddamn
I need the whole dick.
By the way, spoilers, Fable. You get to see Kid Cudi's silhouette of his dick. Well, I don't
more
think
dicks than.
I don't think it goes.
I'm a fan of Kid Cudi, so it's okay. So good.
Yeah, he's gifted.
Might have been a stunt dick.
He's gifted.
That's true.
He's gifted. Okay.
I'll wrap up the character bit with. I'll just go with the sister because she had like the least interesting role, but for what she had to work with, she did an excellent job. Like some of her reactions and all that, and just how likable she was. But I did just want to mention like the mother really is my favorite, and the scene that she's in where they're both sitting there freaking out, screaming, yelling at each other. Like that's probably the most dramatic scene in this movie, other than maybe the big monologue that she gives at the end. But what I was gonna say is between that scene in Pearl and then the Fleetwood Mac bit, I won't spoil anything, but in X, where they're sitting around having that conversation about doing porn, like those two scenes to be in horror movies they're some of the most dramatic scenes that you'll get in horror. So it's top of the line.
Oh yeah,
That's
all
elevated.
Right. So, elevated, dare we say? So Dylan chose the mom, Steph chose the dad, Fable chose the projectionist, Verno chose the sister-in-law. There's not really any other characters, right? But I want to spotlight the Scarecrow. who
Ew.
probably
Yeah.
the entire movie.
I thought you were gonna say Pearl.
I thought you were gonna say Frida.
the Gator.
Yeah.
No, it's the Scarecrow. I wanted to be that Scarecrow in that movie for a little bit. Like, I don't know. She was like, I'm married.
She doesn't just say I'm married. Dude, how about her scream? Like she
Yeah,
can
that was-
scream like
can.
words, not just like screams of fear, but like she can go
Just-
big better than
You
anybody.
can hear it. Her voice doesn't crack either.
Mm.
This is why this pisses me off so much when people are like, the modern scream queen is Jenna Ortega. Is it Jenna or Jenny?
Jenna.
Jenna Ortega. And I go, fuck you. It's Mia goddamn Goth. She's the modern scream.
I think Jenna's work output might be a little bit more than Mia. That's why
Jenna
some might
needs to
say
be
that.
in
I don't know.
better
Man.
movies than just
Pretty.
X. Like, she needs to be like she needs to have some other movies for me.
No, I
Jen-
feel it, but I think that's why some might say she's got more projects attached to her name than
Jenna Ortega.
Yeah, horror
Yeah.
specifically horror.
They gotta be getting
I feel like
Pretty
Mia's
close.
more indie at this moment than Jenna's
Yeah.
more mainstream.
That's why I like Mia Goth. She don't sell out, man. She don't sell out to the man, bruh.
And you gotta think, Mia Goth wrote the script of Pearl with Ty West. Like she's heavily. It's not like
She
she's just
respects
doing
it.
Pearl. She's like producing. She's writing the script. I want to say she wrote the
She's
script
his
for X
muse.
with Ty West.
She's his muse. She's probably gonna be in all of his stuff going forward in some way.
She should be.
I would-
Character or
She's the Bobby De Niro
Yeah.
to his Scorsese, right?
yeah.
Let's do it.
I would say Leo DiCaprio.
Yeah. I
Well,
thought that Scarecrow was
eventually
gonna
Mia's
come to
gonna get
life
too
a few
old.
times.
And Ty was gonna have to find someone. That's what happened. Robert De Niro got too old, and Martin Scorsese.
You found-
Sorry, Bobby.
I still love you, Irishman.
Yeah, we'll bring you back for the Irishman, but for now it's Leo.
Mhm.
Now it's Margot Robbie. Everybody else is fucked.
That's true.
She's gonna be beautiful for fucking 50 years, man. So
Yeah, that was probably the difference. Like, when you guys saw this movie, you saw that Scarecrow scene, you probably were just like, oh man, she's, this is a great scene showing how crazy she is. I didn't know any of this, so I thought the Scarecrow was gonna come to life.
So did
I
I.
was just waiting for the
So,
Scarecrow
I
to come to
was waiting for
life.
it.
I'm like, this
Dude.
thing is gonna kill her.
the
it was like, is this
design.
supernatural?
It was
Start
so
dancing with her and
lifelike,
shit.
that design. It was freaky.
Yeah, when she took off the hat and she's like looking at him.
The Scarecrow shows up and goes, "If I only had some brains."
Hey, let me ask you guys. Going back to the monologue at the end that I said I thought was maybe a bit long. Robbie disagreed. Did anybody else
It is
zone
indulgent.
out a little bit? That's all I'm saying. I
No.
zoned out and didn't pay attention both times.
First
that I've
time,
seen
though?
the movie a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'd zone out. a
First
lot.
time
It's
I
pretty
was
easy to make
into
me
it, but I think it kind of adds to like just her disturbing nature. It's
Mhm.
supposed to make you because normal people wouldn't go off on a tangent like that and talk about the shit she was talking about. Second time, I mean it. I think it serves its purpose, but maybe second time you're like,
Yeah.
all right, I know what to expect. So you
Right.
kinda. But
Well,
first
it's supposed
time,
to make you like feel chilled, and because they're purposely not cutting to the sister's face until she finishes her speech. When
Right.
she finishes her speech, they cut to her face, so you can see how aghast she is. She's like,
She has the
Wow.
same fucking
okay.
response as the
right?
It's like, well,
I should
gotta
get
go.
going. Yeah.
those are those bits of humor in this movie that I love in the script because it's so
Yeah.
serious. This movie is, right? It gets so into the character of Pearl, her worldview, and what she's going through that those moments really kind of like pull you out of it and be like, the movie does a great job of making you feel for Pearl.
Yeah.
Right? And making
Yeah.
you feel sympathetic for her and even share some empathy. And then they do those moments where you're like, no, this is the natural reaction is I missed Sunday dinner. I gotta do the deviled eggs. I gotta go. Like,
I would stay. I
Those
would.
movies aren't going to show themselves. I gotta go.
I gotta go.
yeah, I gotta go. We've all been there where you're just like, what'd you just say? oh, you really said that. Okay. Shit, look at the time.
Except for Robbie.
It's getting
Robbie's
late.
like,
I
"What'd you
forgot I
just
had to
say?"
work tomorrow.
Let's go upstairs.
No, there have been plenty of record scratching moments where I'm like, wait, what did you just say? And then I'm like, well, this is the last night I'm having sex with them.
And when I run
What's up, Dylan? Dude, I want a poster of this right now. What just that pose Dylan was just doing? I want a poster of that. Look at that. We gotta get Mike on that one. I want a t-shirt.
Put that shit on a coin. Like a nickel or something.
Hell yeah. So
favorite deaths, but there's really not many.
Yeah, there's
Interesting cuts.
Fable's gonna be a little crazier on the deaths, definitely in X, because this one is more story driven. I would definitely say.
Yeah,
Definitely more into the psyche of Pearl instead of being like X is more of that like slasher type feel, you know.
I would say I've never seen a movie that's so bright with its kills. Like, you know, it's always bright during the day. I mean, the few that there were, but you know, it was very colorful.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, you said it best earlier when you said it was Wizard of Oz on acid. I think that's like the perfect sum up for the coloration and the feel
Right.
of what they're going for.
Yeah. My favorite kill would really be the ending anyways, you know, when she chases down her
The sister.
sister-in-law, yeah.
I like when they cut to the montage where she's getting rid of the bodies and shit, and she were like cutting the sister up and shit.
Yeah.
Like that,
Yeah,
that
and
was
then
great.
you just got that whole where she's like by the river, the little pond or whatever, and it's just full psycho.
Avor or Avor.
Yeah. Dude, that scene where she kills the sister's walking out and she's kind of hustling, and the way she just casually, Pearl just grabs the axe,
Yeah.
kind of starts
Bro.
Jason walk towards her. That's
And then her little hustle, dog. Like, oh my
Yeah.
god.
dude, that's
She
something I was
starts
gonna point out.
screaming, and then she falls, classic horror
Yeah.
style. She just falls.
Mia Goth is such a good like physical actress. Like with like there's little moments early on because she's like really childlike early on in the movie before she goes fully crazy.
Yeah.
And
Very
like
playful in her.
like I've got some mail here, and she like runs over to the table, and just
Yeah.
like when she leaves the theater, she's like running in a certain like childlike way, and that
She
scene-
viewed her life as like a musical.
Right.
You know, like a
She doesn't have like
Yeah.
makeup on or normally see. Like with X, she has all the makeup.
or
8 hours.
I couldn't tell
Well,
the
she
way
looks-
Vern was looking at me like maybe I was cutting out.
Yeah.
A little bit. Caught most of it.
You picked that up, did you?
You
Yeah.
see, Verno is as
Yeah.
expressive of an actor as Mia Goth.
Right.
very
She
physical.
looks good. She looks good with a sharp object in her hand, like you were saying. Physicality, like when she picks up an axe and she starts swinging that shit, you're like, oh, she's good with an axe.
Right. And the fucking pitchfork.
Oh yeah.
And I assume that's the same pitchfork from X, but that's just me.
It's got it.
Spoilers,
And
Fable.
she
Someone gets
stabbed him
got
in
with
the-
a pitchfork in X.
They
You
did a
need to
good job
watch
with
X, Fable, so that would
think
that
I've
be
seen
your
it. I
first
think I
live
saw it
stream,
already.
Verno, would that be your first live stream, IG Live, if you did that?
that. Yeah.
Fable, you got to do it now, man.
Yeah,
Do it.
hell yeah.
We should do
I'm
it.
watching it
That's
probably
a good
tomorrow
one to do.
because I got to work tomorrow. But yeah,
Hell yeah, dude. That'd be awesome.
Plus,
I
Kid
still
Cudi's
haven't
silhouetted
watched.
dick, right?
I've
Like,
only seen X and then Pearl. So I remember Vern was like, is anyone going to do like Pearl then X? Because I haven't had a chance to watch Pearl then X since. So it's going to be interesting to see Fable's thoughts since he's only seen Pearl. So he's
Especially
just
since-
naturally watching it in the correct
backwards.
yeah.
like chronological order.
Chronological or
Especially
Yeah,
since
'cause
we're like giving everything away, you know. And
Well,
we're,
it's a slasher. I mean,
Now I'm gonna
I
be
think they're
like,
just setting bits up. They're-
Like,
Man,
He-
still.
He just saw the origin story for a lot of the bits
Yeah.
in that.
you're right. I just let Jay Strick borrow both of these movies because he was like, hey, because what was it? He just watched something that I recommended, and he was like, that's really good. What else you got? I was like, have you seen X and Pearl yet? He's like, no. So I let him borrow both. He's like, what order? And I was like, watch X first, right? Because I think you should watch like the order
The
they
order
were
came
produced
out,
first.
Because I think he
have
would
the
have put
opportunity.
Pearl out first if he wanted. I think X was supposed to be that big hitter, and then he's like, if they really like this, we can. Which I think they already had it filmed. He's like, then this Pearl is more of a character study and more of
Yeah.
the inside mind of.
What I'm going to be interested in knowing, because I feel like most people that watch X first have a slight disappointment in Pearl because it's so stylistically different. I'm interested to see if Fable has that
Oh, the
reversed.
guy like
This-
a Hubbard.
This
better.
made me like
I knew it was
X
gonna
better,
be different.
to be
I knew
honest.
Pearl was gonna be different. Like I could see in the trailer. So it's like if you go in thinking like, I guess in the trailer it does give bits like it might be a lot of killing in it, but I could tell just like it was just gonna be different. I could just, especially.
And the other thing, Fable, is when you watched X in the theaters, this was the post credit sequence was the trailer for Pearl. And so we were like, what the fuck? What?
Wow.
And then what you get if you see the end of Pearl, they give you a little post-credit scene for Maxine, but it's not much. It's literally just the Hollywood sign, and instead of Hollywood, it says Maxine with a triple X.
Yeah, this is like the best thing to come out of the pandemic.
Yeah, I mean, dude, like we got X and Pearl in the same year, and we get it's only a bummer we have to wait so long for Maxine, but I think that's probably going to come out next year. I want to
I
say.
hope so, because they're filming it or they're in production
Could be this
right
year.
now, I think. So
Oh, they are. I heard
Could be
they
like
were-
the end of this
maybe it's
year.
just pre-production, but they're gearing for it, and like
I
other
heard they're-
people are anticipating at the end of this year. Which with horror films, they could start filming
In a
production
month.
next month and have it ready for October.
I read earlier that I think they were going to start shooting in April.
That's still enough time
That
for the
could
end
still
of the
give
year.
us, because there's not
Yeah.
a lot of CG and shit. There's
Right,
little
right.
tidbits, right? But
I hope it's a fucking gore fest, because that is
Yeah.
the only thing about this, or one of the few things about this film that I wish there was like a kill or two more, because they wanted to do this thing obviously where they were building up to her first kill. So we had the animal kills where in normal slasher we would have got an opening kill or whatever, but
they're
Right.
also showing the stylistic sensibility of the time, right? Where you're getting as
Maxine.
much as you get in film in 1918, which is gnarlier than film in the 40s and 50s, to be honest. So, like, just seeing the blood splatter and the trail behind the sister-in-law or whatever, right? I can't remember her name, but like just seeing that blood trail is as much as you would get back then, right? In X, they're giving us 70s level gore. So in 80s, you better go full board into 80s horror territory. I mean, I
Sure.
want to see Stuart Gordon level fucking shit. That's what I need to see.
I want to see practical
Right.
effects like crazy. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Really lay into the practical.
But
Hell
the
yeah.
fact that they did that for Pearl in X, but putting her in a makeup chair for 8 hours, Mia Goth is committed to it. So I think Ty West has that sensibility. I don't think he's CG heavy in any of the films I've seen, and it's limited, obviously. I haven't seen
The
Cabin
Gator?
2. I haven't seen The Innkeepers, but I would hope that that's the vibe, because they really did.
That's like a ghost story one, I know.
Yeah. Well, they did.
That's all
like,
I really know about it.
he did authentically capture the 70s vibe, right? Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Hills Have Eyes. He did that with X, and
As they do with
definitely
Pearl.
more TCM, right? And then he captures that like Wizard of Oz, Mary Poppins,
Whimsicalness.
psycho kind of flavor, and the whimsy and the music. Oh my god, the music is so amazing in this movie. Like, I like the music in X a lot, but the music in this one is amazing. And in Maxine, it better be synth driven. And I love that.
Yes.
It's not
set in 85.
It's not just an exploration on these women. It's an exploration
The periods.
on cinema
Right.
and in pornography. Apparently, like, Pearl didn't go into that as much as I thought it would, but they're using that. First of all, apparently that's an actual stag film that they're showing, right? So they're showing you the origins of when people started realizing that this kind of like stardom was the way to go to get attention for a mediocre life. Like, it was an escape. But for some people, it's more than just an escape. I want to be that person on the screen. And then we see the evolution of that into the 70s with X, with the rise of pornography, right? What are we going to see in the 80s? with home video, pornography's on the rise. Like, I'm excited to see what we explore. You could keep doing this. You could do a version of this for the digital age, set in like 2015 or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? You could do that. You
Do
could
a
have
fucking
whole
who done it
series.
for the 90s.
Yeah, what if Maxine?
That'd be
who's the
dope,
young
dude.
character in Maxine? Maybe she has a movie set in the 90s or the early aughts. You know,
Yeah, it
maybe
says
Ty
it's
West is just like, this is my career now.
Hey, it's not a bad one. It's not a
I'd
bad
do
one.
it in a heartbeat,
Yeah.
man. Get sexy people to be in these fucking scary, sexy movies with you. Fuck yeah, that's the life, man.
Hell yeah.
Plus, they're elevated because they're A24 films. So
True. This is true.
yeah,
Always keep that in mind. Elevated horror, different.
I see Zach likes Innkeepers. I need to watch
I
that.
was just gonna say, yeah, I'm gonna have to. I gotta fucking watch that one. But it looks like Maxine's taking place in '85 to be exact.
That's one of the
And,
best years for
Yeah,
horror
yeah.
cinema in the 80s. That's the last really good year, right? 85
Yeah,
is Day of the Dead. 85 is Reanimator, right? Like 85 is like the
What was
last
Night of the
year everybody
Comet?
got safe. Night of the Comet's earlier, I think, like 83, maybe 82, right?
They need it. That's like right for a remake, man.
Ty West says that each film is about a different era of filmmaking. Like '70s, is more about independent horror filmmaking. Pearl is more about the stag type filmmaking, obviously, and then
Origins.
85 is going to be very interesting.
I tell you what, dude, 1918, all it took to impress a woman was having a car and being a projectionist at a movie theater. That's all it took.
I mean,
Guys
you-
come
and
cars
when
had to
someone
be
goes-
expensive, bro.
Do you sleep at your job? I'm bohemian.
I'd lay my head wherever.
I don't really have a home.
Mhm.
That dude's a fucking sleazy fucking pickup artist, man.
My home is wherever I lay my head.
But he may have been genuinely interested in her, right?
I think he was until she creeped him the fuck out.
Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah,
fucking scary. You hear these loud noises in the basement. She's trying to get
That's
with you.
nothing. You're out in the middle of nowhere. Keep in mind this,
What's wrong
Yeah,
with
these-
you?
That's
No.
right.
Rotting fucking pig on the porch. Like,
Yeah, I know.
Which
the mom.
Everyone is
kind
completely turned
of
off.
speaks to the mom. Which kind of speaks to the mom a little bit. Like when you guys were
They
talking
would
earlier
not
about the
take
chicken
charity.
and the egg. Right, the chicken or the egg. Like I felt like when she didn't
They
take
fed
the
into
pig,
each other.
Yeah, when she didn't take the pig, I felt like, okay, well, she could have took the pig. I mean, damn, how mean is she? Now she's really being an asshole. You know what I mean?
Or at least
Yeah.
throwing it away.
here's one for you.
Yeah.
It
Here's
was
one
just
for
a
you.
gift.
If X is about the start and rise of pornography as cinema, right? And at the time, it was said that pornography and shit like this, and filming these lewd and crude acts of like horror films and pornographic films and sex comedies and shit like that, that they were like the destruction of the American family. Maybe Ty West is trying to say the actual destruction of the American family happened in 1918 because of shit like this, right?
I mean, I'm not too religious.
I don't know. What do you think, Madison?
Hey.
Madison, when do you think the actual destruction of the American family happened?
Bump you gas.
Just a few months ago.
So y'all want to get into the? Is there anything else you guys want to mention, or you want to get into what do you think the movie, what the theme is, and then the rating?
I just want to say one thing real quick about the music.
Of course.
Did you say the music? Okay.
I think
the
I mean,
music-
I said something about it, but I know you touched a bit.
Yeah,
That you just
We've
liked
all
it
touched
more
on it a
than-
little bit, right? But the music has this like, it's so of the moment of its time that da-na-na-na, da-na-na. That should not work with this movie.
Right.
You right?
But it does.
Mhm.
That's fascinating to me. This movie is not written in the style in which it's filmed and executed. And the way that script works with this style is fascinating to me. And this was my second time watching Pearl. I've seen X multiple times, but I liked Pearl so much more this time rewatching it. Like it just really cemented in. I'm enamored with this film, bro.
I was gonna say the music, especially in the opening, it gives it like this and the freeze frame along with it, it gives it like this like parody vibe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I don't know if that vibe carries across the rest of the film necessarily, but the opening really feels like parody. And even when she's like sitting there when you first see her and she's talking to the cow and all that, it's like it's like a dream kind of in a way. But
Yeah. She's like in a early musical, you know, where the birds and animals talk back to her and shit like that.
Well, in the special features when they were talking about the set design, they were mentioning Disney a lot. They were trying to make the farmhouse look like a Disney farm.
And then I guess 60 years later in X, it looks like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's gone from Cinderella to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, right? From Snow White to Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And I love that aesthetic. And the music does the same thing. And they also have the same opening where they're in the barn and they come out of it. But in X, it takes us from 4:3 to widescreen. And this one, it does the same thing, but you can see that the widescreen's there and the color is so much more vibrant in this one than it is in X.
Dude, you know what?
I can't wait till you watch X.
Sorry.
Like, Jesus.
I think they're doing that. They're starting the shot in X, but since this takes place longer ago, the shot starts from further back. And it comes, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's my guess.
Bruh. Where's Maxine start? Does it start on this damn farm? I don't know what I'm allowed to say to your daughter. I'm sorry.
Oh, you can say whatever you want. She can't hear you. I got headphones.
No, yeah, I felt bad. I was like, I just cursed through the last few minutes when I was talking. I was like, oh, jeez.
She can't hear anything. I got headphones out.
Oh, you got headphones? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
yeah, that's right.
I feel okay.
Yeah, fuck the police.
He thinks I'm talking to her. She thinks I'm talking to her right now. So we're good.
She's like, that's right, Daddy.
By the way, dude, I'm looking at pictures of this Mitzi character. This actor name is Emma Jenkins-Purro. That's the sister. She's hot in this movie, but holy shit, she's even hotter than she appears in this movie.
She gave me Britney Snow vibes.
Holy shit.
I need to check her out because I'll tell you what, the projectionist, he's pretty fucking hot. He looks like my buddy Justin. Dude. I don't know if you guys have ever met Justin, who does the podcast with us. If you ever see pictures of Justin, he looks just the same. Like, straight up.
He looks like Steph's younger brother.
Steph, you're pretty sexy, man. I just want to say that.
Thank you.
Steph got them good genes, man. I don't know what happened to the rest of us.
Speak for yourself, bro.
Yeah, that's because you are younger.
There you go.
Younger people are naturally. No, I'm just kidding.
How old am I, Steph?
27? 28?
I think that's right?
Oh,
Yeah,
good for you.
One of the two, for sure.
People literally always think I'm like, I've gotten like 19, 20 all the time.
No, yeah, I was gonna say if I didn't know you, yeah, I would guess younger than that.
I couldn't remember. I knew I told you my age before, but I wanted to see if you were just like.
I just want to say that I would guess everybody on this panel's age is younger than you actually.
Right.
I would say the whole panel looks younger than they are.
We're a sexy looking panel, y'all. Is this the sexiest panel we've had on DHS since the last time Scarpad wasn't on?
I could guess everyone's age is lower except Scarpad's.
If you would have introed us at the beginning one at a time, I was gonna come in. Hey everybody, Scarpad's not here, so I want to come real hot.
Gotta keep the energy going.
Yeah.
We missed you, Scarpad. We missed you, brother.
He's out DJing right now.
By the way, he sent us pictures. He's DJing a 60-year-old's birthday party.
Is it his own?
Hey,
that's what I thought. Yeah.
Those DVDs don't pay for themselves, okay? The 4Ks don't come in the mail magically.
I want to see like videos of him just like turn, and then you just see like people just kind of like.
I want to see what happens when he puts
you sexy sons of bitches.
That's what I want to see.
Bro, you turn to the crowd and they're all on TikTok. Just
Dude,
speaking of Scarpad, should we start with his rating since he did give us his rating?
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
they
he
Yeah,
did.
do that.
that's fair.
I'm
The,
glad he's not here.
but
Actually, I kind of am pissed off about his.
dude, funny
His
thing is
rating?
though, too,
Yeah.
then I went to go see a PG-13 movie with me and my fiance. They ID'd both of us. I was
Hmm.
like, "You're joking, right?" And he was like, "I was like, I
PG-13?
look that young,"
You
and
never
he
be
was
too
like,
safe.
"Yeah, kinda."
Right?
I look like I'm looking 12 years old, bro. I was like,
No,
what
you're like
12-year-old
7 feet
has
tall.
that?
He's bugging.
What was it?
He's tripping.
I'm like Yao Ming, bro. Yeah, I'm really
Yeah,
young.
he's
I'm
like
like 10 years
7 feet
old
tall.
right now.
He's 10 years
Yeah.
old.
Yeah.
That guy was tripping.
Yeah, dude, he was like, I'm like, dude, I'm older than you, like, and then like literally he looked at my ID, he was like, seriously? I'm like, yeah, seriously, what the fuck? It's a PG-13 movie, dude. Like, dumbass. But
Fucking
yeah, so
dumbass.
Scarphead, I think he gave X a 4.25,
2.5.
2.5? Okay.
or was it 4.5?
I thought it was 4.5.
4.25 is what he gave fucking X. I'm just gonna say that. That's very fucking. I take that personally.
Yeah, he gave X a 4.25, and then he gave Pearl a 4.0. So he likes X a little bit better. Which I know he did go. I don't know if he saw X in theaters. I know he saw Pearl in theaters though.
Mm-hmm.
But sure. Yeah. So I guess I'll start it off. I can't remember what I gave X. I might have given that like almost a. I guarantee I gave it.
You had to give that a 5.
I
Yeah.
probably gave it.
I think
a
at the
5.
time, me and you both gave it a 4.69 because we were. It was still early in the year,
Yeah.
right? And we were like, we have faith in the rest of this year.
Yeah. I would probably give Pearl, I'd say like a 4.25 because I do like X better. It's just more my type of movie that I can rewatch more, but I still like no matter what, like if I'm gonna watch X, and especially once Maxine comes out, I'm gonna love to do that like trio, watch all three of them together every now and then, you know. But no matter what, X is just a fantastic standalone film. So that's another reason why I would give X more, just because I feel like you could do X and you don't ever have to do another movie. When I guess you could do Pearl. Pearl could be a standalone movie itself. You don't really need X, but it would be like kind of how Fable said, how they kind of give away that she's crazy too early, where Pearl, if it was just a standalone, I feel like you would have to get that reveal a little midway.
Yeah, no,
Instead of just
absolutely.
like letting it go so
Yeah.
like that, because everybody knows who it is.
You guys telling me it was a prequel, which I didn't know going in until tonight, until the show.
That's awesome.
I can definitely say that as a standalone movie, it works just because of Mia Goth. Like her performance carries you through the whole movie. But as a plot point, like plots and stuff, her being crazy so early throws you off because, like I said, the mother's mean to her, and you want to feel bad for her, but I didn't feel bad for her because when she killed that duck, it was over. I'm like, she was crazy.
And that's like literally the first few
mean?
minutes of the movie,
Yeah.
I believe. So they you know, it's really going on that people have seen X already, you know. Or they figure if they didn't see X, they're gonna watch Pearl and then go watch X, you know.
Even watching X, you don't have a connection to Pearl watching this. When I watched it the second time, I had that connection. I didn't have that the first time, right? Because you know, even like knowing that she becomes this horrendous murderer, right? Like watching Pearl the second time was so different for me.
Yeah,
so different.
It's
as
the
far as
fucking
getting into the character.
It's the prequels, really. I mean, like on a different scale, but it's Anakin Skywalker and Vader. You watch the original trilogy, then go watch the prequels, and Vader's different.
I definitely thought that I was gonna get some more kills out of Pearl too, just because like I'm like, oh, she's gonna be younger, so that's why I feel like they even could do an in between Pearl and X and get more bloodbath, you know, just because this seems more of like her origin, obviously.
I think it might have been intentional because if you know it was implied that they in X they had done this before, but it wasn't the first time they had gotten to a situation like that. So there's a big window or gap of time for them to play around of different different eras of time, different couples that have stopped by the farm and shit like that.
Yeah.
That's something I wanted to bring up. I'm pretty sure when we were talking about X, we got into what Howard's motivation was. Like, is he evil? Is he only uh is he being dragged along by Pearl? And I
He
think
just wanted to protect his wife.
well, it for me with the casting, the little tiny bit that we see of Howard, the husband in this movie, he's so all American, jolly G gosh type of guy. Like with the casting and the look on his face, and the 1 second we see him, I think that's designed to kind of answer that question, or at least be a big clue as to like why the way he's acting in X.
Yeah.
It's tricky to say
Yeah.
that without spoiling anything about X.
Yeah, I know.
No,
I
yeah. I
would
was
say,
gonna say
like Jack's Law asked which one should we watch first. We would
X.
all say
Yeah,
X first and then Pearl. But I'm still very interested.
either
to see
way, it
after
works.
Fable watches X to hear what him and Verno say if they end up reviewing it. I want to know like that's what if you still agree like with what we say on watching X first, or if you're like, no, actually I liked watching it that way. Be interesting to see. But I go X and then Pearl always. But I definitely will because I watched Pearl today, so I'll probably end up watching X later just to see. I want to see how that plays out, But yeah, I would say X and Pearl definitely. Kirby said he loves Pearl more than X. Goddamn gorgeous, beautiful movie. That it damn sure is, man. I feel like this is one where he was kind of really stretching some muscles, man, and doing something a little different than what he normally does.
That's right, Madison. That's fucking right.
Was that 4.25?
Natty.
I think she gave
Yep.
it
So,
4.5.
Scarpad gave this one a 4, and I'll be giving it a 4.25. And I'd say, I still like X a little bit more. I think they're both fantastic. But I'd say that this movie is definitely about the kind of like the madness that Pearl goes through from, like Fable said, it's like, is she going nuts? Has she gone nuts because of how her mom's treated her, and then having to take care of her father, being stuck on this farm?
I think it was a symbiotic in a way, like because like she probably had issues, but had her mom not been so cold towards her and bitter, they might have not been so
maybe just kind of pushed them to the side,
evened out. Yeah,
100%, dude.
her mom doing that to her made the evil kind of just
exacerbated her shit. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure, like, even like technically, they've almost proven that that's how that shit works. You'll have people that are born with a psychopath gene, but if they have loving parents, they're probably going to be fairly normal. They just won't connect with people perfectly. But if they have the
right.
psychopathic gene and they're abused, then they're good. There's a
They're
good
gonna
chance.
turn out. Yeah.
Violent.
She has a warped sense of reality, and they try to like show her here and there when she imagines her mother's still alive, telling her she loves her, and
Yeah,
these TV show stuff. They're showing her warped sense of reality.
Yeah, but yeah, I think the movie's fantastic. It's definitely a lot different than X, but I love that about it, where they feel different but also coincide. I think just definitely some psycho vibes, where you just see the descent, like how we talked about that pig, where it just transforms and just gets rotted. It just starts rotting and everything. That's kind of like her descent into madness. The more you go, it starts from chickens and birds to her mom, and then her dad, and then the photographer guy or whatever. So it's like a roller coaster, man. She starts off slow, killing, like she even says at the end, she's like, I just started killing things that couldn't really feel it and it wouldn't really matter. She's like, but then when I killed mama, it felt good. She's like, and I didn't really want it to feel good, but she's like, it did, and like, and then she's saying like, I feel bad, but mama was just so mean to me, but
that was her biggest obstacle.
yeah, just her sitting there talking, and you're like, is she talking by herself, or is she telling it to this girl? And you just see the girl, and she's just like, okay, so I'm gonna get going.
I love when Pearl calls her Howard, after she says, "I've done terrible things," and the girl's like, "What have you done?" She's like, "Oh, Howard, I
Oh yeah,
haven't."
yeah.
Or Harold, Harold or
What are
Howard.
you doing
I
exactly?
think Howard.
Yeah.
Just like the duck.
Okay, I was wearing a Howard the Duck T-shirt a little bit ago.
But so yeah, 4.25. Vern, what do you think? What's your rating, and what do you think the theme of the movie's trying to say?
First and foremost, I would like to officially give a new score for X because I'm gonna go 5 on that bad boy. After watching it again,
raise it to a 5 too.
yeah, and I would also say, as
Perfect
great as
movie.
Barbarian is, and what Barbarian or Barbaric? Barbarian.
Barbarian.
As great as that is, I will say X is probably, I do like that even better after watching it again, and it's because of like it being, it's like an elevated slasher, to use a dirty word, and it's such a cool thing. Like I can't think of too many slasher films that were done with that good of themes and characters and storyline and all that. As far as Pearl, I will give that a 4.25, just because for whatever reason I don't like it as much, but I love it and it's great.
Yeah.
It's a really good character study, but just it's I don't know. I wish there was like one more really amazing scene or like interesting. Like I said, it's like it's missing a kill or something for me. It's missing something or like a more climactic ending. I don't really know, but Mia Goth's performance is one of the best that I've ever seen in a horror movie.
Do
So
you
it's
think
a
it's
great
more because your expectations were expecting it to be more like a slasher like X, where this one's more of a disturbing character, like some Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer type shit?
I
More
don't
of a
know. To be honest
character
with you,
study.
dude, I've been half thinking, well, because I've seen it a couple times now. Maybe initially it is that I wanted it to be more like X. I think there's just something where it doesn't quite go there. You know what? I
Quite
almost wish like the projectionist was the final kill. Like if it had
I
built
can
up
see
that
that.
relationship and then she kills him at the end, it'd almost be interesting if they never mentioned that the husband was away. If they somehow made it to that you weren't sure, they never said the projectionist's name like they didn't in the movie. If you're not sure whether or not he's the husband in the future, you know what I mean? If you think maybe he is Howard and then it surprises you by killing him, would have been interesting. But I don't know. It's a great movie,
Yeah.
4.25, and it could climb after future viewings.
Respectable. What about you, Steph?
I actually like this movie more than X. This movie has retroactively made me like X more, but I'm gonna give this one a 5. I think
Nice, dude.
I respect its unique approach to the subject matter. Can't think of any horror movies that have tried to play around in that time period and respect like the style that era like Pearl has done. Yeah, I think we've all said it. Mia Goth, like it's a damn shame she wasn't nominated for some Best Actress. Like this is a horror. Like hate to use I know we play around with elevated horror, but this is elevated horror. Like this, this is truly elevated horror. Yeah.
Let's just call it a psychological thriller, and you can nominate it.
Right.
But it's different, and I think it nailed everything it was going for. It's probably not for everybody. I can understand it. I see what Vernal's saying about the kills, but because that's kind of how it was when I first saw it. But it's like once I saw it a few more times through a different lens, I look at it more of like this disturbing descent into madness for this chick who's already on the edge. So I thought it was a beautiful film. 5. X is a 4.5 for me.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
What about you, Fable?
Well, as far as theme is concerned, I think this movie is totally about being regressed and regression. And I mean, I think it's about a few things. I think it's about regression. I think it's about passing on the pain, right? Like the mother wants the daughter to be just like her. And I also think I think Robbie touched on it, being ahead of your time. Her attitude may be too ahead of her environment,
Too progressive.
Mm-hmm. And besides the murdering stuff that she does, I can actually relate to her in a lot of ways.
I like how you had to like preface that. You're like, besides the murdering stuff.
The murdering stuff, but
she just wanted to be loved, bro. Like she Yeah.
Yeah, the reason I say that is because my parents were loving parents, but they were also, I wouldn't say neglectful, but I would say they were into their own thing and not really into me. I didn't have a brother or sister, so I didn't have anybody to play with. You know what I mean?
Right.
And also, being in the tough neighborhood we were in, it's always like stay indoors, stay close by. You can't go there. You can't go there. So that when I finally became a teenager, I did all the wrong things. All right, I did all the bad things. Everything that
Gotcha.
your mother would not want you to do. It's exactly what I did. So I can understand that being repressed, held down, um, having to get put away childish things. Well, not childish. It's just the world around you says it's childish, but to you, it's everything. Kind of like what we're into now, right? Like at one point, the world told us all our stuff was kid stuff, and we should put it away.
Like
You
she
know,
wanted to
obviously,
dance, and her
yeah,
mom was like, "No, you gotta work. You
yeah.
need to work on
No,
the
but
farm."
not only that, but why would you want to dance? Dancing is
Not being,
silly.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
dumb, right? And that's like crushing her. So yeah, as far as all that theme, I would say regression and
And the
grade.
crazy thing about that, by the way, is
Mm,
no matter how good of a dancer she wasn't blonde. She was never going to get that part.
They were looking for a blonde. Do you, hey, quick, not to deviate too off subject, but do you think she actually got cast, or she was just like plain ignorant
yeah, I
saying
don't
she didn't?
know.
Because she was
That was a
blonde.
good.
She was like the only blonde at
Yeah,
the audition, and they,
yeah.
That's why Pearl knew. Yeah.
yeah, she really got cast.
But yeah, as far as grade, I'm gonna go 4.25 as well. Only because as a standalone, not seeing the other movie that is connected to, um, it's pretty solid as far as a person going crazy and seeing them their breakdown into madness. The story's not anything original, so my grade comes from performances and style and structure, right? Because like we all mentioned the colors and the music and the design, but also the performances. So my score is based solely on that. If it was just story, it would probably be a lower score, only because of her descent into madness. Just we've seen that a lot of times. I don't know if this is any better than any other descent into madness movie without having X as context. Keep that in mind. You know what I mean?
I just
So yeah, just performances, style, structure, music. Yeah, this solid 4.25 for sure.
let me agree with you, Fable. I totally like that. Is if there's a weak part, that would be it. It's kind of the story. I like what happens, but maybe that's something there that kind of throws me off. But Steph, you nailed it as well because it is one of the more unique movies for horror movies in that time period, looking like this with the tone that it has. Like that's
How
a
many
really
horror
good,
movies can you say have truly beautiful shots
yeah.
in them?
Well,
Like, I mean,
yeah, no,
yeah,
it's
there's
I mean, let's be honest. They've been making elevated horror since the 30s. Right? All right.
They make it in Colorado.
Yeah, it was called A01 at that time, not 24.
Yeah, we're on the 24th generation of elevated horror. No, I get exactly what Steph is saying. I get exactly what Fable and you, Verno, are saying, and I even get what Dylan is saying. The first time I reviewed X, I gave it a 4.69 because it came out in like April of last year, and I wasn't ready in April to give a movie 5 you digs for the first time, right? And I went 4.69, and when I first did Pearl, I said 4.5. Pearl, I mean, X has gone up to a 5, 100%. This time, when I talk about Pearl, I'm going to give it a 5. I think this is an incredibly masterful movie. I think that there's a lot of technical skill in X, and I love the thematic material, but this time watching Pearl, I was just transfixed by the performance from Mia Goth. I was enamored with the choices made by Ty West and his cinematographer, right? How they put this movie together. I was amazed at how it connected thematically to X on this rewatch. I was transfixed, enamored, amazed, and mesmerized by how this movie was able to take a musical tone and a cinematic tone and not force, but marry it perfectly with a horror film, with a psychological thriller, with even, dare I say it, an elevated horror film, 24th Generation. I think the movie's amazing. I think it's brilliant. The more I watched it, the more I was into it. Last night, I came home. I was tired. I was like, I would dip out of DHS tomorrow if it wasn't a movie that I really, really liked and respected. And I rewatched it last night, tired, ready to go to bed, and was mesmerized the entire time. So 5 You Digs. What is the movie about? It's about the death of the American family. It's the death of American values. And I don't mean that in an Alex Jones kind of bullshit way. What I mean is X, for instance, is about pornography. People will all the time say pornography, free love, sexual expression, that's the death of morality in America. No, it's not. The death of morality and the bullshit American family values shit, it started way before any of us were fucking born. And it started way before 1918. That's what this movie's talking about. It's talking about suppression. Okay? It's talking about living in a world where you literally have no fucking choice. The mom in Pearl is like, do you think I wanted to be this? I was supposed to be his wife, not his mother. Like, it is about dissatisfaction. And we have so much more liberation of choice. That's what I was trying to get to earlier, where Pearl and X, her reaction to the younger generation, it's a jealousy thing. It's because they have more liberation than she had. She was a little bit ahead of her time, right? But that suppression is real. And I really love this movie with showing her as being very psychotic and murderous early. And it still makes me sympathetic and empathic with her, right? Like, it still makes me like understand, not the killing, as Fable said, but else, right?
No, yeah.
That comes from isolation. And another thing, and whether or not they move this movie back in time to 1918 to go with the Spanish flu and all that kind of stuff, or to make it easier on set where people were wearing masks or whatever. It hit at a time where right now we understand the effects more so than ever in our generation. And I'm talking about us here on the panel, right? Those of us younger than us, they really are keen to this. Like like those that are like 10, 15, 20 years younger than us, they are like really keen to this more so than I think we are, is this sense of isolation. But the pandemic really helped us feel that. We all know each other, most of us, because of the pandemic, right? I started doing more live streams. Fable started watching YouTube, comic books, comics, YouTube. Because, like this, we're here because of it, right? We all felt that sense of isolation. We found something. Pearl's looking for something. She doesn't have YouTube. She doesn't have a community to build on. She just needs a sleazy dude trying to get some who's a projectionist at a movie theater, right?
He's
like
listening.
she's listening. So that isolation and that suppression leads to this idea. And what I love about this movie is that when you take the themes into account, it makes this more resounding and profound to me. It's about the start of faith in stardom. My way out is going to be a star, right? Pearl may be the first person in American history to want to be a star. And that's an easy thing nowadays, right? So many people. We live in this world of Instagram and YouTube, Facebook, and like, Nick Comic Culture, OnlyFans, right? We live in this world where like everybody's on the spotlight. Reality TV is not exciting anymore because reality TV is opening up your fucking phone, right? And looking at any of your social media shit, right? And this is an exploration on the beginnings of this. Where does it come from? It comes from suppression, whether that's religious, whether that's familial, whether that's sexual. That suppression, that repression leads with the idea of isolation. It just fosters this negative, toxic environment. Then you add in this obsession with being a star, and bruh, I'm the pot calling the kettle fucking black. You get what I'm saying? I named my show Rockin' Robbie Live. That's literally my name. So my name is Rockin' Robbie Live. I officially have changed it. No, just kidding. No, but like for real, suppression, repression leads to isolation, all that compounded, and the faith in stardom. That's what this movie's about. This movie, along with X, and I hope that Maxine really finishes this out, is about this entire thread of cinema, self-expression, self-repression, and repression and suppression from others as well, outside forces.
Right.
I'm rambling right now, but all of the shame, all of the fucking bullshit
embarrassment
you put on yourself,
the
society puts on you. But then we have this dream of what we could be as if we're stars. Then other people are like, you just want to be a star, but you're just like, you're a pornographic fucking actor. Who gives a shit, right? Like so many people just want to be on screen. Right now, people are watching me on their TV. You know what I'm saying? And it blows my mind. First fucking grade, the DARE officer, DARE, you remember DARE, just drugs and all that shit. Yeah, that fucking worked. Anyway, so all of that, they brought everybody up to like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I literally said in first grade, I want to be on TV. And I just want to say right now, I'm on TV. So thank you so much. I made it. And Pearl didn't have that opportunity. So that's what this movie's about. 5 you did. Ramble over. Sorry, Dylan.
Wait,
go ahead.
Can I ask you a question before Dylan goes ahead? Is part X, is X has to do with pornography? Is pornography a thing in X?
Yeah, big time.
And obviously Maxine XXX, right? So I'm wondering with the whole repression theme, if Ty West is telling a stripper story, but a hyper realized version of a stripper, because strippers some of them are hedonistic, they want to be naked, right? But society tells them they're wrong and they're this and that, and they have to do all this stuff to be in sleazy bars to be naked when they would probably just want to be naked in front of an audience and just
there's
dance like Pearl.
There should be no shame in any sex work or sexual expression. You know what I'm saying? And
everybody does it,
I think, as a society, because it's been something that's been going on for, we're talking millennia, right? Like, and like, we all need to be able to sexually express ourselves. Pearl wasn't able to do that. And the sex is a big deal in this movie, y'all. She does not pleasure herself with a fucking scarecrow for just the fucking weird Wizard of Oz reference.
No,
there's something there. Right?
Yeah.
She's not satisfied, bruh.
Yeah, porn, freedom, naked, trying to be hedonistic. There's something there because, like, when he showed her the stag film in this movie, my first thought, again, not seeing X, was like, oh, is she going to become a porn star? Is this what this movie's about? Like, he's getting her into porn?
I think she was curious about it, but she was so conditioned to, like, that when she was with I think it was with the scarecrow, she had the flashback. She was like, I'm married, or whatever, It was her, like, her conditioning trying to fight against what she actually wanted to do.
Yeah. And that shit goes back, man. Like, so many of us have repressive ideas about our sexualities, right? And like what we like to do or what our kinks are or all this kind of shit. No, we don't need society telling us or religion telling us that it's fucking bullshit. We don't need our parents telling us. We already feel that shit, right? Let's just be expressive. And that's what I love about X is like the antithesis to this movie, where they're celebrating the rise of the perverts and how we're gonna all make money, like doing this shit. Like we can. He even says
it. He says people pay a lot of money to see this right here. Yeah. Almost predicting the porn industry, like right there.
Like,
it's true, the origins of the porn.
Yeah, like in X, there's the director of the porn. The whole movie of X, by the way, Fable, is about this group of people that go to film a porn at this farm that Pearl and her husband live at when they're old.
That makes a lot of sense.
Right? Yeah. So they go there and like they have this discussion amongst themselves and they're like, people have been having to be perverts on these seedy streets of New York for so long, but home video's coming, baby.
It's gonna change that.
And it's going to change everything. We can all be perverts in the privacy of our own home.
Right. Well,
I go into that theater and
It's
Yeah.
kind of. I think it says like now it's not just for the perverts or like the extreme perverts, because you could imagine the type of people that would have
Yeah.
went to a 70s porno theater. You are gonna attract a certain type
Well,
of
Oh,
isn't
yeah.
that what the Western world thinks about us, kind of in a lot of ways? Like we rather have movies where we shoot 1,000 people and they all bloodied and gutted up, and over there they rather have movies where it's a little more sensual, romantic, sexy,
Europe
What,
and stuff.
sexual.
what
Yeah,
will blow
and-
people's mind here? Like, I used to work at movie theaters, right? I never had to check IDs and tickets before people walked into a theater, ever. All the violent films, right?
Right.
Until Fight Club and Scary Movie.
But
'Cause they
what
had
I'm trying to
dicks in-
say is,
They
what
had
I'm trying to
dicks.
say is, they say that we're
Yeah, what's up with all the
violent
dick
like this
repression?
Dick will do
because
it.
we don't have the sexual. We're repressed sexually, so we have all this violent crap going on.
We
Like
totally
sexual
are
hyper-
repressed.
Cool.
We are
Yeah,
totally
Hyper
a
violent.
sexually repressed nation. Like 100%,
Yeah, the most.
man.
Yeah.
And I want to quote right now one of my favorite films of all time, Southland Tales, right? We live in a bisexual nation in denial, all because of a bunch of fucking nerds. Okay? So everybody just get your kinks out there and enjoy life, okay? You're fine. You're safe here at DHS, man. Ain't that right,
Nice.
Dylan? We love all kinds of sex.
Hey, well, I mean, I like my own certain kind of sex, but whatever you guys like, it's fine.
No kink shaming.
I don't-
No kink shaming.
It's
What,
all
what
good.
we're
Whatever you're
trying to
into.
say is we
I'm
don't
not just
judge.
being funny. That's a legitimate
Right.
thing in both of these films. Is that like the idea of sexual liberation? Like
Totally.
that's something that we are just now hitting as a Western civilization.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like our whole goddamn country is based on puritanical beliefs that still permeate throughout everything. You know?
I like that she actually, but what she finds is she goes out and she explores her sexuality, and then she regrets it. Like it's not necessarily gonna, I like that they show that side of it too.
It's not
The
regret.
guilt and the
it's shame.
conditioning.
It's
Yeah.
shame. That's what it is, man.
Yeah, it's the programming, like Steph said.
Yeah.
It's fighting against her programming. She wants to do all these things that make her feel good, but everything around her is telling her she's wrong for doing it.
You want to
Right.
fuck a
And she
scarecrow
feels
in the
ashamed.
middle of a cornfield? That's that's your goddamn
That's
business.
performance art,
I
baby.
guess you
That's
need
performance
consent
art.
from the person who owns the scarecrow. I don't fucking know. We can get to scarecrow consent is a whole other conversation.
Scarecrow consent.
That's something I've been thinking about more from watching movies is like how many visuals can you take away, like from a movie? How many things stand out in your mind? And with this and X, there's so many, probably more so
Very
in
visual.
Pearl than
Yeah.
X.
You want to bump that
I agree.
rating up real quick before Dylan does the total there? Because people think about that.
No,
It looks like you're thinking about it. You're like,
No, stand strong, bro.
Hang on.
Stand
to it.
strong.
Like I said, I bought it. It could rise, man. I enjoyed it. I will
I
say
have a feeling that I'm gonna like it more once I see it. I have a feeling that it's gonna resonate more with me, and I might be on the step train where I'm like, man, I might like
Right.
Pearl.
that's how it was with me. Like it
Yeah.
was a solid enough film the first watch, but I enjoyed it Pro way more the last few viewings that I've seen it.
right.
Yeah, I agree.
It's
Like
so
Robbie said, it's very easy to be enamored by everything going on the screen.
like doing what we do, like we put like an exact number on how much we enjoyed something, but there's so
Isn't
many
that hard?
there's so many factors that go into it. Like I watched
Yeah.
X with my old lady. We really enjoyed it. We had a nice discussion about it. I watched Pearl alone. Had I watched Pearl, you know what I mean? Like it's just
Yeah.
it always bumps it up when you watch a movie with someone and they're into it too.
Yeah, hell
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
We were done with Burial Ground about 35 minutes ago, so that just tells you what.
Right.
You haven't even mentioned it.
Which you like better, Brian?
Oh man, I like them both quite a bit, man.
They are both badass.
I like the one on the left, the regular one.
The red, yeah.
This
Yeah.
one or this one?
Because it's got the X.
She's doing the thing, and she's got the X.
Like she's innocent. Yeah.
I like that the axe has like a bit of a shimmer on it too. It's fucking
Yeah.
dope.
I know, because at first I got this one, and then I was like, I didn't see the post art for this, and I was like, fuck, dude, I gotta get it with it. Like
The middle one, it's playing on the barn too in the background too. So that that's so badass.
And it's the barn doors on X too. If you really, it's wood planks.
Ah,
yeah.
X
It's
might be
just
the
what-
first.
What's the
it's
porno
just-
that?
it's
What's the
aged a
pornography?
little.
What's the film that they're filming? Right? It's the farmer's daughter.
Daughter, yeah.
Yep.
That's the
oh
story
shit,
of Pearl.
yeah. Yo.
which is what
Yo.
Pearl
crazy
is, the
'cause
farmer's daughter.
She looks a lot different, and like obviously the same chick, but
Was
She
that
looks
the
a lot
same
different
barn
in
set
she
where
looks a
she
little different.
in X where she's like she's talking about right before they're filming the porn, but she's like going through a scene. Is that the same barn that Pearl was in?
Yeah.
When you see
okay.
Mia Goth at one point sitting on the bench in this, she's sitting.
Yeah.
Like they just reshot the scene from the
And the
porn.
overalls.
In X. Yeah.
She ain't wearing no
All right,
shirt
all
underneath
right.
those overalls though in X.
No, there's gonna be a lot of surprises for X. Everyone's been pretty good at.
Fable's like, I'm ready to
Masking it.
watch it now.
No, I'm already like looking for what's his name? Kid Cudi's penis, like right away. I'm like, when is it gonna come out?
I had this problem. Just ticks.
Hoorah! Let us secure the perimeter. Fuck yeah, dude. Kid Cudi's so amazing in that fucking film.
Dude, I wish the United States got a 4K. I don't know why. The A24 is so weird about doing 4Ks.
I think Cudi's gonna transition to acting. He's kind of done with. I mean, he's still probably gonna do music, but he's a very natural
No,
actor.
he's talented. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Good.
So, Scarpat gave it a 4. I gave it a 4.25. Verno gave it a 4.25.
I think Verno wants to bump that up to a 4.269. I'm just gonna
Let's break the system.
I'm just gonna speak for him while he's not here.
Two Gun gave it a 4. Steph, what did you give it, a 5? Fable gave it a 4. 4.25.
2.5.
Robbie gave it a 5 as well.
Yeah.
So do you like this better than X now, Robbie?
You give them both 5s.
Yeah,
No,
you can give
they're two different.
They're different
films.
beasts.
No,
Yeah.
he gave X a 4.69, but then you said you bumped
X
it.
is
He bumped
a
it
5
up,
now.
yeah.
X is a 5 now.
Because the only reason I gave 4.69, I thought, because like you said, it was either still early in the year, and then because I gave Barbarian a 5 because I like Barbarian a little bit more.
Yeah, I even said at the time Barbarian was my favorite. No, now it's X and Pearl, then Barbarian, but Banshees of Inisherin still trump all of those for me for last.
It's tough. Gary North gave it a 4.69.
Nice.
Kirby gave it a 5 slips. So
Solid
I'd
movie.
say
Yeah.
I'd say we got an average 4.69, my brother.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's pretty spot on. I think
Dude,
that's
what a
spot on.
relief, man! After last week, God,
I missed Fables. What'd you give it, Fable?
4.25.
I guess 4 point. Yeah.
he gave it a
We'll call it the Scarpad score.
4.269.
Well, I'm trying to switch it up, man. I'm trying to do other things, man. I'm trying to do some different
Fable's
things
about to
here,
watch
man.
X, and then he's gonna go fuck, and he's gonna watch Pearl again. Oh, whoa! I've never watched X on X. What about? I bet that's a whole.
It's about porn too.
I don't know about you guys. I know this movie's supposed to be scary, but I just feel so good.
No shit. You either need a partner or a carpet for that one, man.
So
Maybe a feather
that concludes the Pearl review. Robbie, what do we got popping next week on the horror show? We got us a good one.
We do got us a good one, man.
Yeah, no, I know there's no shit talking on Robbie from this one.
Two evil eyes.
Yeah.
If it's bad, there will be shit talking.
Favorites, because you got George Romero and Dario Argento collabing.
Trust me.
Oh shit. Okay.
It's not bad. It's Dario Argento and George Romero both doing 2 adaptations, short films of Edgar Allan Poe stories. It is baller.
Interesting.
So fucking good.
Harvey Keitel, Adrian
Bruno
Barbeau.
just said it popped up somewhere recently.
No, I was mixing that up with a different
Never mind.
that movie you had mentioned before, that witch movie.
Yeah.
It's streaming now for free on Tubi. It's on Roku. It's on Vudu. You can rent it on Amazon and YouTube.
Sweet.
Nice.
You can also just buy the Blu-ray, you cowards.
Yeah. Yeah. Buy this awesome freaking Blu-ray. They got a 4K now for it too. Look at that slip, dude. Blue Underground, baby. What the hell does Scarpad have coming this Monday?
Sunshine.
I still gotta watch
Alex
that.
Garland. It's Danny Boyle.
I'm dying.
Alex
to
Garland.
watch that. I'm dying to watch that. And
28
then-
Days Later creative team.
Yeah. And then so Scarpad's Domain will be reviewing Sunshine, and then Rockin' Robbie right after we'll be reviewing Cyborg. Oh,
Yeah.
The lesser version
Cyborg.
of Universal Soldier.
Dude, I want to pick up the Scream Factory for that.
You might need to rewatch it before you want to pick up that Blu-ray.
I know it's too much. I know. No, I rewatched it like a few months ago, and it's not what I remembered.
It's meaning. I'm sure it's not, but I'm really excited. And Fable's going to be joining us, and it's going to be a fun night. It's going to be a fun night.
Yeah, it's
We're doing
classic
Cyborg, and it's like
cheesy
we've done some heavy
B-movie.
movies. We've done some
Yeah.
heavy movies, right, Fable?
And
Like
we got
Surf
Van Damme.
Ninjas and shit.
We did They Live. We did Taxi Driver. We did Inside Llewyn Davis. We did Surf Ninjas. Like, thanks for stepping on my bit, Steph. But no, man, Cyborg. And it's like then we take a break before we get ready for March Madness. So before we take that break, we have to leave you with something to really sink your teeth into, obviously, right? And that's Cyborg. So yeah. Jean-Claude Van Damme. But before that, Sunshine, good movie. Chris Evans is in that movie.
I've never seen it, man.
No.
I'm super excited to watch it.
Yeah, that's actually a good movie. And Station, that was the wrong button. But Two Evil Eyes, very excited for that. Very excited.
Dude, I haven't got to watch this Blu-ray yet, so I'm.
Will this be Fable and Steph? Is this your guys'? I've never seen this one. Is this the first time you
Two
guys
Boys?
been watching an Argento movie?
Dude,
Yes.
this is the best.
Not
episode,
an
too.
Argento
It comes
movie,
with
but
the
this
CD,
movie,
Robbie.
Who did the Ripper?
Fulci.
Fulci. Okay, then yes.
And then Romero did the Dead movies. Zombie, Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead.
Right.
You see those stuff?
I did the Romeros, yes. The Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead.
I'm
Well, I don't know if you
ready
did
to
that.
dive into this Blu-ray, man. 3-disc set, bro, with a bunch of special features.
I don't have that one. I still have the original Blue Underground one. I haven't
Oh,
I haven't
really?
updated
That's
yet.
weird, man. That they do like they have the regular one, and then they have a lenticular one, and now they have a 4K one. Like the only difference I think from this one and yours is probably the CD. I'm not sure. I'd have to see the special features because it does say that there are new special features on this.
Yeah,
I
well,
don't
the
know.
one I have is from like the early 2000s or something like that. So
I'll have to take a picture of the back, and you have to let me know if there's anything different on it. So I guess I'll do a quick show and tell before, and you guys, if you guys have anything. So like I said,
Yeah, I'll probably go next because I got a dip.
no worries, man, no worries. I know it's my sister's birthday was yesterday, so they're about to go downtown, and I'm probably gonna have to dip out. I didn't even think I'd be able to do the stream this long. Finally picked this up because it was like $10. Came a little beat up, but one for my Carpenter collection. I'm getting close to finishing. I only need a couple more. I have to think maybe. I know I need Elvis and like someone's watching me. But I finally got Starman. So,
Oh, nice.
just some Jeff
Oh
Bridges.
yeah, I love
crazy.
Starman, bro.
I have not watched it in so long, so I'll definitely
So
have to
good.
rewatch it.
Great movie.
I get this is just one of his lot different films than
Yeah.
all his horror
Yeah.
stuff. It's more that him going out and trying to be like, hey, I can do more than horror.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, well, not last because I do have one other thing, but I got this documentary because it went on sale. I've been dying to get this. Finally went down to like $14. Tom Savini's Smoking Mirrors documentary. Sick little slip.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. Smoking Mirrors, the story of Tom Savini. Dude, I love my horror documentaries, dude. It's one of my like favorite things, especially with In Search of Darkness. I am just like the biggest horror documentary fan. So I'm trying to collect all the horror documentaries that are out there, at least on physical. And one knocked that one I got out of the park. But Shudder, man, Shudder's always coming out with new ones all the time. So definitely recommend you checking out some of their documentaries on their app. Last thing I got, I'm wearing it though. Got me my
Nice.
thing pull over.
Oh,
Love it.
yeah.
Let's see.
Oh hell yeah! I was gonna say I would hope there'd be something on the back. That's dope.
Oh,
Yeah, I was waiting to show. Pretty cool, bro. I love it, man. I do have I did get an Army of Darkness shirt, but I'll have to show that. I have it still like in the packaging. I'll show that. I'll end up wearing that probably next week. So, but that's a fucking awesome shirt that I got. Dude, I was so happy to get this because it's completely sold out on pre-orders. So I was like, fuck yeah, dude. So I've been dying to get like those zip-up ones, but they never have nothing on the front. It's always just on the back. So I was like, this one at least, has something on the front. And I like pullovers a little bit more. So, yep, that's what I got this week.
Nice.
All
Let's
right.
see. Very cool.
All right, so I only got a couple things. The first thing I was going to preference because I was a little embarrassed. I thought I was the only one who did this, but after Dylan seeing his 3 different X's, Blu-rays just for the cover, I don't feel as bad. So the reason I say it is because I just got another Optimus Primal, mostly because of the coloration on the chest. So yeah,
what's the difference?
Hell yeah!
You fucking nerd.
What's the difference?
Well, this is more sure
the coloration on his chest.
Yeah.
It's more
Why?
so
Yeah,
accurate.
and what's I was gonna say, what's the significance then?
But yeah, it's just the show accuracy. So I was like, damn, I gotta have to preference this because I just showed an Optimus Primal, but then Dylan showed the X DVDs and I felt totally better. I was like, okay, I'm not the only one doing it.
Yeah,
I mean,
that
come
does
on
mean-
now. Have you seen Dylan's movie collection? How many different slips did he have for different movies?
He's like, I got 500 movies, but there's only like 200 of them. 500 Blu-rays, but only 200 movies.
203. Half of them are doubles. Just kidding. I am
you
not
might
that
appreciate this a
old.
little bit. They re-released Tales of Symphonia, a classic JRPG from the GameCube,
nice.
up on the Switch. It's a remastered version. So you guys know I love my JRPGs, and this is one of the classics. So definitely happy to have this on Switch and a physical. And just in time for this show, and this is to encourage Robbie to go play some more modern video games. Robbie, go play some more modern video games, okay? Because we got this jam right here called The Quarry.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys ever heard.
It's a horror movie.
One. It's basically you're playing a horror movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna read the description. It says, when the sun goes down on the last night of summer camp, 9 teenage counselors are plunged into an unpredictable night of horror. The only thing worse than the blood-drenched locals and creatures hunting them are the unimaginable choices you must make to help them survive.
Nice.
Yeah, go play that, Robbie.
I tell you what, Fable.
Pick it up.
You send me a PS5, I'll do more modern video game
That's a
content.
PS4, bro.
You're gonna get a PS4 that's
Yeah.
like 100 times over.
I'm sure I could pull a Perry and just have a really successful channel being like, dude who hasn't played a video game since Super Nintendo.
That will be
Play
great.
something new. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
It'll just be you and Brooks trying to figure out how to hook the shit up and get it going.
Well, Brooks knows way more about modern
Well,
games.
there you
than I
go.
do.
He'll help
Brooks
you
has
out.
never stopped playing games. I did stop at some point. So
Well, I got a
Yeah,
dip,
you
guys.
have like older games, don't you?
Thanks for tonight. It was awesome. This was a good one, guys. I hope we watch more of these elevated horror movies. I love them. I'll catch you on the next one, guys.
Station, brother.
watch
Thanks
that.
for hanging, bro.
Hell yeah.
Let me ask a question to Robbie, dude. What would you got a different term for elevated horror? Because I get it. Like most people that are really into horror, they don't like the term, but there is something we all know what you mean when you say elevated horror.
All right.
What is that?
So what I don't like about the term elevated horror, and I think elevated horror is a really good term, but the bad part about that term is it has a connotation of only being in the last 5 years.
Right.
Before that term came along, we just used to call them really good horror movies. Like there were good ones, and then there were really good ones. Like you'd be like, yeah, Night of the Demons is fucking awesome. But then you'd be like, but Dawn of the Dead or Zombie by Fulci, which is way better than Burial Ground, or Suspiria or The Thing. These are really fucking awesome. Yeah. So it's a good term, but I just don't like the connotation of the term being the connotation is that this is a new phenomenon, right? Of horror films that reach beyond just visceral scares or jump scares or just like, no, bro. We've been exploring deep themes through horror films since the beginning of cinema. So
Right.
that's what pisses me off about
I think it's almost like it's a trend that's going on. The films right now that have the deep themes also have the similar slow burn. They kind of group up together.
Yeah.
Where it used to just be sprinkled ones across all the different.
It's like all these dudes ever watched
Right.
was The Shining, and then they want to make a horror film. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And so many of these dudes that do these films, or so many of these people, dudes, women, and everything in between, like they reference The Shining, and I get that, but like, do not think that you're special just because you're like mimicking a style,
Right.
right? And that's the thing that really kind of gets to me is like we have been making very thoughtful films in the horror genre for a very fucking long time. And to me, the term has become dismissive and reductive of everything that built the legacy up to this. And it's not just Stanley Kubrick, because he did one horror film and dipped the fuck out. He did one of the best, but like people like Argento, Romero, Carpenter, Fulci, fucking Craven, even somebody like John Landis, who went in and out of genre. Like, these people did so much work. Don Coscarelli, who probably never made fucking like Don Coscarelli is a living horror filmmaker icon who has never really reaped the benefits of what he's contributed. You know what I'm saying?
Heard of him?
He's the guy that did Phantasm and Bubba Hotep.
Okay.
Oh wow.
And yeah, he's a brilliant fucking filmmaker, and he's up there with Craven and Romero and Argento and Carpenter for me. And
Hell yeah.
I hate how dismissive it is, because the first elevated horror film's fucking probably Nosferatu, which is in the 20s, you know, the 1920s, not the 2020s. But it's just it's dismissive, it's reductive to me of the history of horror cinema.
Nice. I feel you.
Plus, it's a fun bit to always act like I'm really mad when someone says elevated.
Oh, dude, no, I mean, you hear it all the time, like on podcasts.
Porn.
Yeah, people don't like it. Here, I got one thing. I wasn't gonna show it until next week because I got something else coming, but it was on sale. It's 50% off, and it's still on sale. So I
Nice.
figured I'd get it out there now.
You finally got it, Verna.
I
Every
finally
week,
got it.
every week we have to
Yeah.
we're subjected to this dude being like, should I buy it now, guys?
Well, hey, I'm glad I waited, man. It's
Looks
a
like it came in good condition
beautiful-
too.
Beautiful box set. Dude, the thing I didn't know about it, correct me if I'm wrong, for those of you that have this thing, the first 4 movies are 4K.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
4K transfers.
What's
They're not
okay?
4K.
What's the difference between a 4K
Well, it's
scan?
still a Blu-ray. It's still a Blu-ray disc. You don't need like a 4K Blu-ray player.
It's
to
still a
watch.
Blu-ray, but the restoration process was way more meticulous.
Yeah.
And it
'cause
does
then
come
they're-
across even on the Blu-ray.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It
'cause
looks
they're-
great.
That's why if now they're starting to put out 4K discs of the first 4 because Scream Factory did like actual 4K
Right.
transfers, but they probably won't ever do 4Ks for the ones past. All the other ones after, if you look, they say 2K transfers. I believe.
Yeah, I saw that.
So
They
they're
look
still,
good,
they're
man.
still really good. They're still beautiful transfers. It's just they want. I think the first 4 are obviously the oldest too. So they want it, and probably to a lot of people the most favorite. So I think Scream Factory, which I wish they had just done 4K transfers on all of them. I don't know if they could. I don't know if they weren't able, but those first 4 are fucking gorgeous, man. With those 4K transfers, they all look better than they ever have, though.
Oh,
So,
for sure. I'm
it's-
going from DVD
Now,
to this.
Verno, I got a
Yeah.
question I want to ask you since you
Mhm.
put me on the hot seat.
Mhm.
I'll put you on the hot seat. Love
Nice.
those Justice League figures
Yeah.
and statues behind you. Where the fuck is Aquaman? You piece of shit.
Well, you see about him.
He wasn't part of the
I don't think
that
he's
team,
part of that. Yeah,
cartoon.
he does go with it.
Oh, so
I-
you're a casual Justice League fan. You just like the animated.
I
series.
am. I really am. Yeah, I'm a casual for sure. I'm not a big '90s Aquaman fan. I actually have these up just because I'm moving shit around. I might
are those
fucking.
McFarlane's or something, or are they statues?
I guarantee you, Robbie has seen these come
They
through
look
his
like
shop
statues.
a million times. They're
Yeah, there's an Aquaman one.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, I know. But I don't think
There's
it's part
an
of this
Aquaman
set.
one.
They're little statues.
Those are sweet.
Yeah.
I love
Yep.
the animated Batman. That's my
I'm going to
favorite.
send you an Aquaman.
All right.
I'll take it.
I'd gladly take it. I almost got him, but for whatever reason, I think Steph's right. I remember being like, "Oh, that's not part of this set." And plus,
they added him in later on, right? Like he was only there.
Justice League Unlimited.
They didn't need to like have a reason to have Aquaman there every fucking time.
Right.
Like in the Super Friends, where they'd be like, "Well, Darkseid's also attacking the water."
Yeah,
Come my aquatic friends.
That's true, Count Von.
Fuck you, Bobby. That's not the original.
There was a couple. I forget. There was a couple discs that were messed up on the Scream Factory set that you got, but if you email Scream Factory, they'll just send you the replacement.
I think
I don't know if they
replaced
ever.
all that by now. I think.
I hope so.
That's why I'm not sure if like the box sets are. If you still have to ask for replacement discs.
You can't.
You know what's funny? The Amazon guys walking up to my door, and I'm looking at the box, and for whatever reason, I've seen this online a lot. I thought it was. I don't know why the box looked way bigger. It's nice and compact, and I'm like, no, that can't be it.
Yeah,
but it is. It's pretty small.
Well, luckily it came in good shape because dude. I had to order 4 before I got one in good shape. They came all smashed up.
This fucking guy, Jesus.
Hey, it's this way first. This way, not that way.
This fucking guy right there.
Point to the right fucking guy.
See, that's what's funny, dude. I've got my settings.
Amazon doesn't use fucking bubble wrap.
My settings are mirrored. So right now, to me, I'm pointing to Robbie up in that corner, but I'm not, right? To you guys?
Wow.
Yeah.
See,
there was one day, Robbie, you were trying to fist bump me. I'm like, yeah. And you're like, no. I'm like, no, yeah, I'm right here.
Robbie.
No, evidently, I'm not.
Robbie Verno.
What's up, Steph?
Robbie.
Dylan.
I put mine on mirror mode because when I'm showing something, if it's not on mirror, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Like, I can't. Like, I don't know. It's so weird.
Steph, did you have anything, boss?
I got a few quick titles. Comics. Sammy I'm gonna butcher his last name. Vetrano. Vetrano sent me an AOK and
fuck yeah, man.
Sent me but these books he sent me the entire series of. I've been wanting to finish Scumbag. I'm a big Rick Remender fan, so he sent me the entire series of this. That was super dope.
Dude.
This book called Lolo Woods, or the Lolo Woods. Pretty. I like the artist Danny, I believe her name is.
Yes.
So yeah, this has been pretty good.
Was the best.
That Rockin' Robbie guy is always raving about Danny.
Danny's.
I like her. Yeah. This I like this. Out of the Scumbag's not really horror, but the other 3 are horror. I would say I like the Lolo Woods so far the best. Daphne Byrne.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Kelly Woods, right? Or Kelly Jones?
Yes. Kelly Jones, yep. And then the Dollhouse Family.
Oh, nice.
Dollhouse Family is my favorite Hill House book.
Okay.
Basket full of
I don't know. It might be Lolo Woods now, but Dollhouse Family is awesome.
Either that or
Basket Full of Heads. I've got to check that out.
That was fun.
But yeah, thank you, Sam. Appreciate that. That was awesome.
Yeah,
Hell yeah, man.
Hell yeah. Shout out Sammy. Rockin' Robbie, what you got, brother?
All right. Well, last time I showed off this package, I opened up my April O'Neil Bride of Frankenstein. Pretty dope, right? Yeah, that's pretty dope.
I
thought it was Avatar Bride of Frankenstein. I wasn't sure what I was looking at first.
I just noticed the detail of all the spiders on her costume.
Nice.
Pretty dope. All right. So I've been slowing up on my Blu-rays, but this was a brand new release I had to get. So I got my copy of Dark Glasses in, y'all.
Nice. Is that the Argento?
The new Argento film, which, some people didn't like as much as me, but that's okay.
All right, the last Argento.
Yeah, and you want to talk about bare-ass special features. It's like special features behind the scenes.
It'd be funny. Special features. We don't have any.
Yeah, we don't have any, right? I get Scream magazine way late, but I finally got issue 74. Looks cool. It's got some Doctor Who bits. It's got a whole thing about Basket Case and the Piranha 2. And then I got the next issue the same day, 75. And yeah, they're still fucking talking about Halloween Ends. Get the fuck out of here, man. I'm tired of this. Stop it, Scream. You're the best horror magazine out there.
Dude, they could be talking about Scream 6.
They could be, but they'll be talking about that a year from now. Anyway, my friend Jay she hooked me up with this, and she went to a Comic-Con, is what it's called, last week, and picked me this up. How cool is that?
Oh, nice.
So yeah, obviously Ghostface, but it's Scream of Wheat,
That's
right?
Awesome.
That looks like oatmeal swirlers, by the way, so that's fucking dope. Just add corn
Oh, I
syrup,
thought
same
that was
stuff they
actually
use as
cereal.
pigs
It's
carry,
very Robbie.
right? Yeah, it totally is. And Jay was like, I saw this and thought of you. But my favorite thing is like 2 minutes /time. It says right there. And it also says, do you like breakfast?
It should say, "What's your favorite cereal?"
What's your favorite breakfast cereal, Sydney? Anyway, but yeah, I love that. I thought that was awesome. So Jay, if you're still watching, love you. Thank you so much, Station.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah. Nice. So yeah, that'll conclude the show tonight, my brothers. Like I said, come tune in next Saturday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, to check out Two Evil Eyes by George Romero and Dario Argento. I guarantee you won't be disappointed. An anthology film, I guess you could put it, but it has just 2 stories, one by Argento and one by Romero. And yeah, it's
You
gonna be a
telling
great
me that we got 2 Dylan's horror shows in a row where I'm going to be ecstatic about the fucking movies? Hell yeah, man. 2023 is turning
Yeah, buddy.
around, turning the corner, man.
Man, hell yeah. But yeah, then you got this Monday, 7:45 p.m. Eastern, you got on Scarpad's Domain, you got Sunshine, and then right after at 9 p.m. Eastern, you got PCP, Pop Culture Philosophers, Van Damme, Cyborg.
The greatest Van Damme film released that one particular month, that
That
one
year.
particular year,
That one year, yeah.
That week. That week.
that 1 week.
Yeah. But I appreciate everyone who came out tonight and hung out. You guys are the best as always. Sorry for the little technical glitches in the beginning. My fucking Wi-Fi was ass. And then there should be this Friday also a Twilight Zone show. I couldn't do the show yesterday because it was my sister's birthday. So we'll try to get those episodes done this upcoming Friday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. So come check us out. But definitely be there next Saturday. It's one you won't want to miss. Great show to close out the month before we get into March Madness. Yeah, you're not gonna want to miss it. Love y'all as always, man. Thanks for hanging out. You guys have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll see you next time. Peace out.